Yo, Longhairs, welcome to episode 125 of Let It Ride. Here we talk about long hair and business, advocate for hair equality, and celebrate men's long manes with hair whips and high fives. If you're a guy with long hair, you're in the right place. I'm El Sicario, warehouse manager of the Longhairs, joined by my man El Garvinsky, our media producer. Our guest today is a master barber and owner of the Lion's Mane Grooming Co., San Diego's leading premium barber experience. She's the only person I trust with my hair, and I'm also happy to call her a friend. Please welcome Shelbee Shearz.
Thanks for having me, guys.
I'm so excited we finally made this happen.
Yeah, me too.
Every time I come into the shop, I'm like, oh, you got to be on the podcast. Because we have these great conversations, and I was like, man, if there was just a camera, you know.
Maybe we should install one in the
right?
barber shop. And we'll just turn it on when you come in.
Yeah, that would be a great podcast in itself. You just have someone sit in the chair and you know.
Yeah.
Man. How you doing?
I'm doing good.
Yeah?
Very good.
So Lion's Mane, I know we have some devout YouTube watchers, but I'm sure for those that have not seen the episode, we actually, Garvinsky and I kind of just like ambushed you one day in the shop. That's how we really met, right? I just was a mess. I was just, because of course
you know Michelle too. Michelle.
Yes, we have a mutual acquaintance.
Yeah.
And
the title of the video, by the way, was The Maximum Flow.
Yeah, Maximum Flow. Yeah. So keeping your hair and your beard dialed, right?
Yeah.
Especially for someone like me, man, my beard is longer than a lot of guys' regular hair.
Yeah.
And so I was a patron of the establishment that shall remain unnamed, but the former establishment in the same space, I was a patron of that barbershop. And I was like so sad, like, oh, it's gone. And where am I going to go now? And then our mutual friend was like, well, there's just another shop there and it's great. And I was like, oh, perfect.
She kept telling, she's like, I got to get Jose in here. I was like, who's this Jose that you keep talking about? Like, I want to meet this Jose. You keep bringing him up. Like,
yeah. And so then I was like, okay, I need to book a trim, dude. Cause I'm just a mess right now. Yeah. I know I've said this like 100 times already, but I really appreciate your willingness to like let us into your space and record. And it was great. It was a great video. We had really good feedback.
That's how I live my life, guys, with the flow.
Yeah, go with the flow.
Like, don't
as we like to say,
don't fight the current.
Yeah, and we like to say, let it ride. Just let life in, man. Let it happen. But yeah, so now I'm a devout patron of Lion's Mane, and I have to say, like we do a lot of content about like how to trim your sideburns and how to stay up with your hair, but like, and I firmly support like if you want to cut your own hair, make sure you understand how to take care of your hair, right? But I'm more of along the lines of there are two types of people that do anything: experts and amateurs. Which one are you?
I am definitely an expert,
right? And I'm an amateur, right? So I'm not going to let an amateur cut my hair. That amateur being me.
I've devoted 20 years of my life to this.
20 years.
Damn.
Yes.
Wow, that's a lot. I've
done it all. Like literally anything. Either one of my licenses has allowed me to do, I've done. So but men's grooming is where it's at for me.
So what was like the inception of your desire to be a hair professional?
I started doing hair when I was 13. I started learning finger waves and finger coils and stuff like that. And like, I just enjoyed the sculpture, the artistic aspect of it. I never thought in my life that I would like do it. And then when I was 19, I moved out after high school, and my very first roommate happened to be a hairstylist. So I went to the shop with her one time, and she was like in her 30s. So I was like, but she worked at this hair salon, and she's like, you should come with me sometime. I'm like, okay, cool. And I went in there and I was just like, OMG, like,
fascinated.
I was so fascinated because like I was actually in it, like helping her do things. Whereas like, now mind you, I've been paying for my own haircuts. I was actually very picky as a kid. So I started paying for my haircuts when I was like 14 with my allowance. I paid $30 for my haircuts when I was 14.
As a 14-year-old, that's a lot.
And that's a lot. But I was so dedicated. My hair was long. It was like, like I had so many problems as a child, like going to Great Clips, stuff like that, where like, the parent tells them how to do it. And there's some of the haircuts, I'm glad I have no pictures. Because
really?
like I had the bangs that like came from all the way up here, and my hair was cut to here. And like, I always hated it. And I was like, I'm gonna have long hair my whole life.
Yeah.
And then I decided to cut it when I was 19, just because I needed something. And I loved it. Like I rocked it for a little while, and then I grew it back out really long, and I still prefer long hair. But then after my son was born, I cut it all off again. It was probably as long as it is now, and just babies pulling the hair, the earrings, everything.
Just gets beat up.
And I went to Regis at the time, and I was already cutting hair, but I never like really, I trimmed my hair and stuff like that. I would always try to go and get my hair cut by someone else, just because it was a lot to deal with, especially having kids, young kids at that. And one day I went into Regis, and I had asked her to cut my hair, and she's like, but it's so pretty. I was like, look, I'm telling you to cut it. And at that point, I went home and cut my own hair, and I had never cut it. It was like, remember Victoria Beckham when she had like the asymmetrical blonde bob? Like it was like shorter on one side and longer on the other side. And it was, some people would call it a Karen haircut, but it was Posh Spice here that we're talking about.
That was co-opted by the Karens.
Yeah, I think that was more Kate plus 8 was more of a Karen haircut than the Victoria Beckham bob, because it was very stylish, very sleek, and we're talking, like I said, Posh Spice here. She's always been very posh, you know. So it's like, and I wanted that haircut, so I did it, and I put a mirror, you know, put up some mirrors strategically, and then it's like, I think that's when I really fell in love with haircutting, is because I was able to create this very precision haircut on myself, and I kind of recognized my own skill, so to speak. And it was just like, whoa, I have a talent outside of just drawing and painting and all of that. So it was
another form of expression, really.
Yeah. And I mean, I started doing hair when I was 19. And I got into men's grooming because of my ex-husband.
Okay.
He was coming home with some Frankenstein haircuts, and I was like, I don't like them. He's like, well, if you think you can do better, I think I can. Because I look at hair like a sculpture, you know, the same thing with beards. It's a sculpture, you know, kind of an Edward Scissorhands approach, so to speak. So like, you know, like you think of like, if you just know sculpture, then at that point, now if you mix the art and the science of hair together, it became, I don't know, it just became a magical place for me to express myself.
I get it, because I'm really into, obviously totally different, but I'm into wood carving, and what I find fascinating about it is you can't put it back on. Every cut of the wood.
Same with hair.
You know, you're committed. So with the hair, it's like you are, you know, not some, you know, obviously there's a lot of very conventional hairstyles and stuff, but every cut you're committed, and it's got to be right. You know, and so, and then you know, you end with you know, this something that could be very artistic and form of expression, or some guys just want the buzz cut or whatever. Right.
And that's what, and like, there's so many people are like, you know, it's just a haircut, but it's not. Your hair is the one thing you can't take off.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's part of your identity. It's part of your own personal brand. So like when you go out into the world, you know, like my kids have told me, Mom, without your dreadlocks, you wouldn't be you. Because they're like, it's part of your brand. And I can have hair not washed for 4 days and I still get compliments on my hair. They're like, oh my God, I love your hair. So it's like my brand at this point. Yeah.
And especially with people that have known you with that hairstyle for so long, it's part of their mental image of you, and it becomes part of your mental image of yourself. Like, you know, I had short hair my whole life. Like I said, up until 6 years ago, right? Or 5 or 6 years ago. But like now my mental image of myself is me with my long hair. And I can't imagine going back to having short hair. Although, of course, I'm going to have short hair next year when I donate it, right?
Right.
So that'll be weird. Like, I'm going to look in the mirror and be like, oh, I don't know if I like that guy.
It's going to be weird to see you. Like,
yeah, I know.
I've never seen you with short hair.
Yeah, I feel like I've never, at this point, I feel like I see pictures and I'm like, oh, yeah, I used to look like that. Like,
yeah, you're like, that's me. No, that's not me. Yeah.
Speaking of the Great Cut, do you plan on being there?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah?
I would love to be there.
We're gonna
Awesome.
need probably about 100 barbers
Okay.
to donate like 2 or 3 hours of just cuts. Obviously, preserving the hair for donation, but. So yeah, I mean, I would love for you to be there. I
Yeah.
hope you'll cut my hair.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because it'll be, I'm going to be honest. It might be kind of an emotional experience. It's like, it's a part of me I'm parting ways with.
Just so you know, if you cry, I'm going to cry too.
I'm probably going to cry.
Because like I'm emotional like
Yeah,
that.
it's good. It's good to feel,
Yeah.
born to feel, but,
Yeah.
but yeah, it's going to be emotional, I think, because this is a part of me that I'm letting go of, but also I know what
It's going to a good cause.
I hope that it's going to bring a lot of joy to somebody, to some kid. Because it's like, man, what you got to think, of course, as adults, we should be on this journey to like love and accept ourselves. But it's hard for a kid.
Yeah, it is.
To
Even more so nowadays.
Yeah, it's hard to tell a kid like, okay, you don't have hair because you have alopecia or some other illness. But you can't tell them like, hey, just get over it. That's a lot to ask from a child. So for us to be able to help provide wigs, that's amazing. I love that.
Yeah.
Like that's one of the things that made me love the Longhairs before I even worked here, because like I was a customer first, and then I kind of like bullied my way onto the team. I made them an offer they couldn't refuse.
Oh, that post you made the other day makes so much more sense now.
Which one?
The one where you're like me walking into work.
Oh yeah. I was Elefante, our creative director. We were friends. We worked together on a documentary. He was the director of photography. I was the security guy for this documentary that was shot in the Philippines. And so we just stayed friends after that. And then I remember him telling me about the Longhairs while we were there. And that was like 2018.
Oh, wow.
And I had just started growing my hair, and I had an undercut beforehand. So it was like that really awkward, like I had this like tail on it was almost like a mullet because it started to grow in. So like the sides of my head were just like short, but then my undercut kept growing, right? And so I was just like, fine, I'll cut it when I get home, whatever. And he's like, yeah, you should, if you're going to grow your hair out, you should check out this company called the Longhairs. And I was like, yeah, because I'd never even needed a hair tie in my life. So I was like, yeah, hair ties, whatever, dude. Like, and then by the time I got out of the awkward stage and it was like just starting to touch my shoulders and I was really getting in my face and like making me crazy, I was like, okay, I need hair ties. And I started buying the crappy, toxic drugstore ones, just like everybody else, right? And then I kept breaking them, right? Because I have these like butcher's hands, these gorilla hands. And so sometimes I would pull them off the thing and like I would break it without even putting it in my damn hair. It's like, come on, man. So then I remember I was like, okay, I got to try, what was that thing called again? The Longhairs? Like, I got to try that. And then I fell in love with them. And then I came to them for hair ties.
You found your purpose then.
What was that?
Then I said, then you found your purpose.
Yeah. And so to me it was like great. The product was great, but then when I realized like, oh, they're doing donations, like they have the world record for the most hair donated ever. Like that's different, man. That's a different level of, we're not just here to make money. Like we're here because we want to make a difference.
Exactly. And I think that's amazing. I didn't know anything of the Longhairs until you crashed my place and took videos.
Crashed. We ambushed.
He ambushed me.
Yeah.
But honestly, I'm so happy that happened because here we are today.
Yeah.
And this is a beautiful friendship, a beautiful partnership. I'm all about it. Like I'm stoked. I was stoked from the minute that like you guys told me about like what you guys were all about. I was just like, this is rad. And like I said, I have the hair tie that's holding up all of this right now is a Longhairs hair tie.
So obviously for those watching, there's a Longhairs hair tie in there, and it's so impressive because there's so much volume that this hair tie is holding.
My hair is down all the way to my butt, so like this is all like,
wow.
and it's only 2 wraps.
Only 2.
Yeah, so it's like I put it in like I'm gonna make an actual ponytail, and then I just pull the second pull through. I only pull it halfway through, and then I toss off the rest of the hair to the side, and
great.
This is my everyday look.
Yeah.
So, and it's so easy. And the thing that impresses me about it is that it's so secure. Like, I think I did like a story about it when I first got there. I was like, guys, I know these say hair ties for guys, but just get
Yeah.
them. Just
No,
get
I
'em.
mean, I have,
If you have long
I've
hair, get
never
'em.
managed to get one to like, when I'm working out or whatever, I've never managed to get one to like slip.
Yeah.
It always holds my hair. Yeah.
Yeah. It's amazing. And like, I can get this one around, even a ponytail, I can get it around, I think almost 3 times.
Wow. That's
So,
awesome.
Like, and it's not all super stretched out. It's not one of the XL ones either. It's just one of the regular ones.
Wow.
Just black, just one of the black,
the standard size.
yeah, the standard size black ones.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. That's one thing I love. It's almost like its own Achilles heel, because like they last for so long that eventually you don't need to buy anymore. but yeah, I love how long they last. Just
is
like
that why you guys keep coming out with all these different like patterns and stuff?
Yeah,
like that?
yeah.
Obviously,
Yeah, 'cause
like,
I mean,
I gotta collect them all.
Yeah,
They're like Pokemon.
We have like a philosophy. Yeah, right. They're like,
I gotta collect them all.
yeah, no more baseball cards. Now it's long hairs, hair ties.
Yeah.
But we have a philosophy here. Like, how can we sell something if we're not even using it on ourselves?
Right.
So obviously, we all use Longhairs hair ties. We all use Longhairs hair products because, like, I'm a walking billboard. It's like,
Yeah.
does my product work? Well, like, do I have good hair? I mean, because that's all I put in my hair.
Yeah.
You know. We get like testimonials. We get guys that'll send us pictures. Be like, hey, bro, 3 years strong, still using the same hair tie. You know.
That's so awesome.
Yeah, I still have my original hair ties that I ordered back in 2018.
Wow.
I still have them. Yeah, or 2019 probably when I finally ordered them.
They're all stretched out.
Well, so I mean, just by the very nature of elastic, like eventually the elastic will lose its elasticity.
Yeah, I know. It's just like those pants that you find
Yeah.
I found a pair of those over the weekend.
But our hair ties do not break. I mean, yes, of course. There's that right now. There's that one guy that's like, well, I don't know, bro. I broke mine. I picked up 200 pounds with it. It's like, okay, I get that, right? Of course, yes, you can break one in theory.
Yeah.
But if you're using it as directed,
we didn't say it was indestructible.
Yeah. But using as directed, they don't break. They're tested over 80 pounds of tensile. I think it's called tensile strength. So, and we actually did it in a video. We picked up 2 5-gallon jugs of water. It's like 83 pounds or something like that. And so we picked up 2 jugs with 1 hair tie and it didn't break. And so for people that are like, well, I don't have 80 pounds of hair. It's like, yeah, but the point is that it's not going to break after everyday use. Like, it's going to last for years, you know?
That's awesome.
We're friends with a YouTuber named D-Max Rhino. And we always hook him up. He comes over, we do videos or we just hang out, you know, and we always just give him stuff. But he's like a hardcore blue collar guy. So he wants like that one tool that's going to last forever. So he only uses literally 1 hair tie. And it's the same hair tie that we gave him on the very first time we met him. And he always shows it up. Like, he always holds it up like, up, still going strong. Like, it's like beat to shit, but like it's still hanging in there. And like, it's pretty impressive. Like, that
is really impressive.
Product quality, man.
Yeah, it is. You get what you pay for. That's what they say.
Yeah. And so we tried to take that philosophy into our other products. You know, we don't want to just have a shampoo. We want to have the shampoo, right? We don't want a sea salt spray. We want the sea salt spray. And I think we're doing a pretty good job.
Yeah.
You know,
I'm impressed with the products.
Yeah, you were telling me that you like the marine layer.
The marine layer. I like the marine layer. I love the conditioner. The original,
the standard.
the ideal. What is it?
Ideal conditions.
Yeah, the ideal conditioner. I have never, like, it's like instant softness, and like you can take that. You know, like, I'm always feeling things with my fingers, so you feel hair. You know, and it's like the ends are like dry, and it's like it instantly makes the hair silky and combable. I can comb through it like almost instantly. And then now what's the other one? The Hydro Flow.
Oh, the leave-in.
Yeah, that one is a new favorite of mine too.
Good. I'm glad. That's actually very validating because obviously we believe in our products. We're putting them out there, right? But like to hear an actual real life expert say like, no, this is good. Yeah. Like, it's like, that's awesome. I
love the Hydro Flow. Like I was telling you before, I put it in beards. I
put it in my beard.
I put it in the beard. I put it in the beards before I put the first hot towel on when we're doing the beard shaping, and it's like it opens up the cuticle layer of the hair, and it allows that moisture to penetrate, and that's how it smells amazing.
The smell.
I'm a big smell person, so it's like I'm all about the smell, and even the conditioner, like, so good. Sometimes I even put the conditioner in my water, just for
Some people buy so much that I swear they are drinking it. Like, I don't know.
Like, well, no, not my water that I'm drinking. I'm like,
I'm messing around.
wait.
Yeah.
No, and just to kind of give I'm using as like a cutting aid when I'm doing my shear cuts. So
Right.
it's, and then people are like, oh, your water always smells good. And, you know, because the thing is water, I mean, I go through enough water in my spray bottle that it doesn't happen. But, you know, I use a hair tonic, or I use that. And I like it because it helps keep my scissors short.
Great usage.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's like, and then like I said, the HydroFlow, like using that now, it's like, I even like the consistency as, you know, it's not quite like a lotion. Like you can almost put it in a spray bottle and just add water to it, and then
dilute it a bit and get it
you
to
can
spray,
dilute it even more and use that
Right.
instead of like, because the ideal conditioner is a little bit more thicker. It's a little bit more like a lotion.
Yeah.
So now all we need to do is create a hair and body moisturizer. That way, so it's hair and body, and then we can spray it all over ourselves.
Okay, we'll put that on the drawing board. So let's talk about lion's mane for a bit.
Yeah.
What is it like? I have so many. Okay, I have to break this question. It's like a 15-part question.
Oh shit.
So for someone who, especially for, you know, obviously we get a lot, like I said previously, we get a lot of first-time growers. So guys that they now have this new problem of, okay, I can't just walk into any shop and get it all cut off. So what would you say for guys that are looking for someone that they can trust with this years-long process of growing? Like, what sets apart like like an actual premium barbershop versus like the regular, you know, shop on the corner?
As of right now, I would say the biggest thing is that not a lot of barbers use their shears. They want to use clippers all the time. And yes, you could trim hair with a clipper, like hypothetically. Like, yeah, you can go in there and you can, you know, go in there and set your line and stuff like that. But you can't get like the split ends that are like up in there. And a lot of people are like, oh, like, well, your hair is like split up here, I need to cut it up to this point.
Sure.
That's not how it works. Like a little bit, you could always, the haircut is not about how much you take off, it's how much you leave on. That's what they're paying you for.
Okay, that's,
you know
very
what I mean?
interesting.
So a lot of barbers are fade, crispy lineups. That's
Right.
Obviously that's not the type of barbershop you want to go to.
Yeah.
So a lot of men do end up at hair salons or like men's hair salons. There's several great men's hair salons here that, you know, they're cosmetologists. They are proficiently trained in their shear work. They're great. But what makes Lion's Mane different is that we are a barbershop. I'm licensed as both a cosmetologist and a barber, but I focus on men's grooming and keeping that traditional barbershop experience. Like, so it's like, it's a place where a man can come and feel like they have their own space, you know?
Yeah.
So it's like, but like what I offer is like knowing the difference between a woman's long hair and a man's long haircut.
I remember when you told me about that, and I never even thought about that.
Yeah, women's long hair, women tend to want more volume. Men don't want to look like Farrah Fawcett.
You know, that reminds me.
They want to be with her, but they don't want to look like her.
Right, yeah. Excuse me. So, my first experience getting my hair cut as a long hair, I went to a hair salon, and I never even thought about like, well, who's going to cut my hair, right? Because I always had short. I was in the Marine Corps. I was, I was a contractor. I always had like short hair.
Yeah.
And then I finally grew it out, and I went like obviously several months without ever cutting it. And then when it came time to like, oh, I feel like I should, it's kind of like getting down to here. Maybe I should do some maintenance. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know who to go to. I didn't even know what to look for. So I went to my mom, of course, right? When in doubt,
go to mom.
Go to mom. It's like, well, my mom's been going to the same hairstylist for like over 30 years. Same woman, right? And so I said, hey, like I need to trim my hair, but where do I go? Like, do you think she'll cut my hair? And she was like, I don't know. Let me ask. And she actually turned me away. She's great. But she didn't turn me away like, oh, I won't do your hair. She's like, no, I'm not what you need. Like, and I really respected that. Obviously she could.
That's awesome, because most people are like, yeah, sure, and then next thing you know, it's
so. She still had me go to the salon she was at, but that salon had one person that knew how to do men's long hair, or not knew. I'm sure they could all do it. You know what I mean? But
it was like something that they did
exactly
like on a regular basis.
That was in their catalog or whatever. And so I was like, wow, like, so I went to the salon and I was like, there's like 6 booths or whatever, and I was like, there's really only one person that'll cut my hair here, and it was a more like upscale salon too. And that was the inception of like my kind of fascination with this, the fact that there even is a difference between going to get your hair cut as a guy with long hair and a woman with long hair.
Yeah, I mean, the difference between a man is just like a difference between a short woman's hair and a short man's hair. Yeah. It's really that design line. It's really like, it's the final outcome. Like, and I tell my students this too, at the Barber College, like I say, women with short hair they'll be more likely to walk into a barbershop because there's a gap in our industry. Like for some reason, cosmetologists and barbers like want to fight, and I'm like, but we both cut hair, so it's like, don't base it off of gender. First of all, like like some barbers are like, oh, this is a man's place. We talk about tits and. Like, okay, talk about it. Like, that the type of woman that's coming into a barbershop is they're gonna expect,
like they get the environment that they're in.
Exactly. It's just like female barbers. We are a different breed. Like we don't do cat fighting and like we just do things differently. But I mean, I think that if a barber is interested in cutting men's long hair, I will be offering workshops at some point to people so that they can, they can come to the shop and learn from me. And right now I'm a niche. I'm the only one that really does it. All the guys that come to me, what they're typing in on Google is men's long hair barbershop or long hair barbers. And Lion's Mane comes up, and that's because I've marketed myself that way. So it really comes down to the marketing.
Really smart.
But when it comes down to your skill set, you have to be willing to learn that and realize that you can't fit all men into a box. It's not fair. First of all, like, nobody wants to be put in a box. Not all men should have short hair, and not all women should have long hair. It's like, it's really, what do you feel comfortable? What makes you feel good about yourself? So that I think that. I think at the end of the day, it all comes full circle to finding somebody that is going to educate you, which is hard to find. So I hope to educate more people on that, and also teach. Like, I'm trying to do that working at a barber college. I'm trying to teach more men's long hair. Like, hey, I saw this coming. Like, men with long hair, they need a place to go too. So it's don't count it out just because it's intimidating. Well,
we're out there.
The fade is the easiest haircut on the planet to do. I know clients that can fade their hair better than a barber by themselves, just with the mirror. I mean, I cut my own hair and I went short. Like, when I say I went short, it was like pixie cut at one point.
And then me as a person that I prefer to have a barber cut my hair instead of me cut my own. The barbershops where they're just cranking out fades, that's a respectable business too, right?
Yeah, absolutely. There's,
I want them to eat too, but that's not what I'm looking for.
Right. There's a seat for every ass.
Yeah. I want to go to that place where I know that while I'm there, my person, obviously you're my barber, right? But like, you're taking your time, right? Like, you care that I'm going to walk out of there and feel confident and know that, like, and of course it's more expensive than just going to the fade joint, but like, that's fine. I see that as an investment to protect. That's a small amount of money to protect the 5 years now that I have with long hair.
Well, I mean, let's touch on that a little bit too. The thing is that doing a long men's haircut is more expensive, and yes, long hairs don't come in that often. But the thing is like, I think it's important for the barbershop to also acknowledge the fact that you can get that client in more often, because they still need the cleanup of the neck and around the ears, because this is terminal. This only grows so long,
right?
So
the sideburns.
So it's like getting those sideburns, and that's where I tell my long hairs, I'm like, if you need, you can come in and clean that up. It's called a line-up service. So when you book it online, it's $27.
Yeah.
For a quick, you just pop in and,
Yeah.
20 minutes of my time and you look fresh.
Yeah.
And the same thing, like even like with my long hairs with beards, like yourself, like if you came in, say you came in weekly for a beard shaping,
Right.
every time you come in, I'm going to clean up around your ears. So you're always going to look fresh, because you can't
Right.
walk out of my shop with a fresh beard and then furry neck.
Yeah.
I'm looking at you at the grocery store, like I'm standing behind you guys, and like I'm still debating.
Clean that up,
I'm
buddy.
still debating, and like,
Just reach up and
should I carry a trimmer?
It's in the blood.
Here's my business card.
yeah, you can't not see it. I mean, it's your
No,
life's
I'm gonna
work.
t-shirts made. It says I'm a barber.
Oh, right. Yeah.
I'm just gonna wear t-shirts
Yeah.
that have the little lion
Just
logo on
put
it.
a QR code on it.
Yeah, it was like I'm a barber, and then
Yeah.
book us with the QR code on the back.
So is this was like your first shop, right? You've obviously had.
This is my first barber shop.
Right. Right.
Yeah. So like this is when I moved to San Diego, I decided to really focus more on men's grooming above all else. It's not that I don't like doing women's hair. I really enjoy shaving and beard shaping, and on top of it, I've always been against toxic masculinity. So it's like creating a space for men to come where they can take care of themselves, because then day you're human too. I think I've told you this in the past, like you're human as well. Like there's no reason why you can't come in and get your scalp massaged with a shampoo and just relax and kind of like take moments to yourself, because we're always so busy. And I think men have it really, really hard when it comes to like, oh, you gotta be a man. You gotta be strong all the time, and you can't show emotion. That's bullshit.
Yeah, I firmly support
like
that.
It's just absolutely like other than our hormones and obviously body parts, we're human. You know what I mean? Like we have feelings, we have emotions, and it's okay to take care of yourself. And I think that's what I'm trying to create. I'm trying at Lion's Mane. I'm trying to create a safe space for men and women alike to feel like they don't have all the floof and all of the but it's self-care.
I'm glad you brought that up, because the last time I did a solo podcast, just me, right, with my guest, I brought in another very good friend of mine. His name is Rick Fernandez, and he owns a cigar lounge.
Nice.
And so we talked about how men kind of get like fed this idea that like, no, you can't slow down. Like your job is to provide, and like you can't take care of yourself. Like you're being selfish. And he said, one of the things about the cigar lounge is that it's a place for men to congregate and just like, look, life is still out there. I'm taking a break, having a cigar, gonna talk to the boys, and then when I leave this room, I can pick up.
Yep.
So
you leave it all outside and you pick it up.
And it's funny because he compared it to the barbershop. He said it's the same mentality.
Maybe him and I should talk, and we can collab.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? That'd be a great idea.
It would be.
We used to have gatherings where the whole cigar club would come out, and then there was a masseuse.
Nice.
And she had like the chair, where you sit in and you put your face just sitting up, and she would just $20 massaging a cigar. And I was like, that's
amazing.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I mean,
well, it's funny though, actually, because I'm glad that we're talking about this, because we do offer groomsmen packages, and we're looking for people that we can create these packages with. Like right now, we're like looking at creating some packages with the man spa, where they do the man spa it's in Hillcrest. It's not that far away. They do facials, they do all of like skincare stuff like that, but they also have reproductive health and like hormonal like replacement and stuff like that, which I think is really important for men, because we talk about women's hormones all the time, but men are affected by their hormones too.
Yeah.
So it's like having those those conversations and normalizing them and making men are human too. Like they go crazy too when they hormonal imbalance.
Yeah.
So like that's something that I think is really cool with them. So like partnering with them, creating some packages with them. I'm interested in doing that with other vendors that specialize in men's.
Yeah. Like, cigar in a lineup.
Yeah, exactly. I think that would be amazing.
Yeah. But so like on the philosophical level, it's like I show up and this is how I feel. This is like my testimonial to the Lion's Mane. Like I show up, it's chill. James Coffee Co. is right outside the door. I get my coffee. I'm chilling, right? And I just, as soon as I walk in, I just feel like I'm, for the next like hour or whatever that I'm here, I'm good. Like I'm vibing, you know, and then I'm in the chair. We have a great conversation.
Yep.
I know you're just taking care of this mess that I probably walked in with, right? and I know that when I walk out, I feel refreshed. I feel relaxed, and I'm ready to pick up all the obligations I left at the door, and like I'm good, right? Yeah. And it's like a break, and I really look forward to it. And I almost feel like, damn, like I wish if I had short hair, I could do this like once a month, but now I'm doing it once every 3 months or whatever. And
I'm working on an unlimited beard shaping membership.
Okay, now you're talking my language, because my beard gets out of control, man. I beat this thing up.
We're working on that. Because I do have guys that want to come in weekly. They don't even want to touch their beards. They're like, "Can you do it for me?"
Yeah.
I'm like, sure, let me work this out. So like right now I'm just kind of like, because if you're potentially going to be coming in like 4 times a month, which is once a week, you know, like say you don't want to touch it all, you just want to come in for a quick cheek lineup, and you know, obviously with my beard shapings I include the neck, the nape, and the around the ears, you know, that's automatically included. It's complimentary, just because you
give superior service.
Yes, exactly. It's an experience. It's not just a shaping service.
Exactly.
It's a whole experience. It's you to relax. Guys ask me all the time, do people fall asleep? I'm like, yeah, all the time.
All the time.
I'm
not gonna lie, a couple times
I actually take that as a compliment, because that means that my energy is calming to you. And that's a huge compliment to me. And I'm a little bit more, you know, I'm a little hesitant. Okay, don't sneeze, don't
yeah.
You know, like
no snoring. Yeah.
Well, it's okay if they snore. It's kind of cute. Actually, it's like, but then again, that's also because I have a bulldog that snores. So all of a sudden now snoring is like the cutest thing in the planet.
Sure.
Go figure. Oh, geez, never thought I'd say that in my life.
Your dog is very cute, by the way. I love a good shop dog.
Yeah, no. Next time I'll bring him with me. Today it was just everything was just too chaotic, but so I left him at home with the sun, but next time I'll bring him. And
so I like that you use the word experience, because that's what I tell people. Like, you go, if all you want is a cut, just go to a barbershop or go to a salon. Make sure that you're, if
you want a utilitarian, like, just I got to get my hair, like what you say, like before you had short hair and you never thought about it. You just like, I just need to get a haircut because I have to get a haircut.
Right. And I still appreciated the barbershop setting, but I didn't feel quite as invested. Right. And then I as my hair grew, kind of symbolically, I also grew to appreciate the overall barber experience, where like sometimes like I actually really like ASMR and stuff like that. And there was this ASMR channel where it was just like a Turkish barber, and you know, he did the full haircut, massage, ear wax, like you know what I'm talking about.
We do all of that.
Yeah. No, that's why I really appreciate all that, right? And so then I kind of understood the concept of the barber experience instead of like just the barber shop haircut, get out kind of thing.
Yeah.
And so to me, it's like, if it's not just a haircut, just like tattoo work, you're not paying for the ink. You're not paying for the electricity bill for the tattoo gun. Like, you're paying for that person's years of experience, and they're going to do something that you're not just going to get anywhere else.
Right.
And so that's how I see going to the Lion's Mane, is I am paying for your 20 years of experience, and I know that you're going to take care of me, and I'm going to feel amazing on the back end. Right. So like, if I told someone like, oh, I'm going to pay $60 or, you know, or whatever that shop charges, right? For a haircut, some people might be like, oh my God, like $60 for a haircut? And it's like, okay, let me change the verbiage. I'm going to pay $60 to feel amazing. All of a sudden it's like, well, I want to feel amazing, right? Okay, $60 or whatever the number is for that shop, right? Yeah. And it's like, all of a sudden it's different. It's like, if I could bottle up that feeling and sell that to you for $50, you'd probably pay $50 to feel amazing. Well, here, go to this barbershop. Right. You're going to feel amazing. Right. And so that's how I sell it to people, is like, nah, man, like,
I appreciate that.
Yeah. You just trust me on this one. And if it's not for you, great. Go back to Joe's barbershop on the corner. And you know, I want that guy to eat too anyway. Right.
Right. All these other barbershops, we all have a place in our industry, even Supercuts, Sports Clips, all of that. We all have they all have a place. It's not really a competition in my eyes. It's more of like, we all have something different and something, we all have value and something to add to it. Like, but my clientele, my focus is pampering and making sure, like, and maybe it's the mother in me. I don't know. I want people to feel good.
Yeah.
You know, at the end of the day, like, you've got wife, kids, you know, it's work, obligations. Like, it's nice to have a place that, you know, you can go to and just woosah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Time
like,
out.
You literally have 30 minutes. Like, I can have you in and out of in 30 minutes, and I'm going to make that 30 minutes memorable. Like, one of my clients today, he told me, he's like, man, now I understand why my dog leans in when I rub his ears.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because when I do my beard shapings, I do a little ear massage.
Oh yeah, I know.
So, and he was literally telling me, he's like, it's just one of those things you don't think about until you had it, and you're like, ooh.
Yeah,
this is nice.
I want to keep that.
You know what I mean? Like, so it was like, and I do that to myself. Like, when I'm stressed out, I'll sit there, I'll take my earring out, and I'll massage my ear, and it instantly, like,
it's the reset.
It resets me. And so, like, those little things that I know help me, I like to do that. Like, just like with all my beard shapings, I also do like a facial massage. You know, so it's really about just a reset.
Yeah. So as we slowly move to the wrap up here, how would you advise, because, you know, we are a global fraternity of men with long hair. So how would you advise guys that are listening? What advice would you give them when they're looking for their permanent barber that will help them with their long hair, and like for them to differentiate just going to the corner shop, the consultation,
being able to call and talk to somebody about, this is what I have, making sure that person listens to you and does a full consultation, like, and repeats that back to you. Like, okay, so this is what I'm hearing you tell me, that way, so that you're both on the same page. And also, if you're not sure, make sure you take a picture, you know, with you, like, see if you can book a consultation with your barber first. You know, we do offer free consultations. If they call and be like, hey, you know, I want to come in and chat about, like, you know, I have this idea, you know, I'm open to it. Like, I want to hear what you have to say. I personally love pictures because it, you know,
visual reference,
it's either that or verbal. So, like, most guys will bring in pictures of, in the grow out stage, we'll bring in pictures of Bradley Cooper, John Wick, Johnny Depp. So in my long hair service, like, when you read the description, it says, if you have those 3 guys in mind, this is your place.
Okay.
Because we're going to do that consultation. So always make sure that you have some type of, especially with the growing out and, like, the direction that you want to go, whether it's your beard or your hair at this point, because a lot of guys with long hair also have beards. So whichever direction you want to go, make sure that you're, like, looking at pictures. You know, Pinterest is a great, you know, look at celebrities, you know, and bring those into your barber. A good barber is not going to be offended. It should be a collaborative effort. Just like me and my tattoo artist, I bring in a picture. He's the expert. I'm like, Mark, I trust you.
Yeah. If anything, you're making it easier on the barber by saying, hey, this is kind of what I had in mind.
Well, because it keeps us on the same page. And then it also gives the barber the opportunity to be real and be like, you know what? I don't think I'm the barber for you.
Okay.
And that should be happening. But there's so many people that just are doing it for the money. They're not really doing it for the passion. Unfortunately, there are those couple mixed into there. But make sure that you have a thorough consultation, and that if that consultation should put you at ease.
And you also, probably the last point would be, you had mentioned try to find someone that will cut with shears instead of clippers.
Yeah. So look for somebody that is proficient in using their shears. They're not afraid to use their shears. They're going to even explain to you why they're doing what they're doing. Like, whether you come to a Lion's Mane and you're getting a long haircut, both me and G we're both long hair, curly hair specialists. So, like, that's, you know, so we also specialize in curly hair. So it's like, we will sit there and we will have that consultation. We will not even cut your hair until we relay back to you like what we understood you said. Especially if you're not bringing in a picture. And then that way we always tell them, like, we'll start with this. If you're not sure, like, okay, we'll start with 1 inch, and we could always take more off. I can't really put it back on. So I always leave it longer. I will cut longer. I don't care if I do 2 or 3 haircuts in one sitting. it's quick and easy for me. I will start, okay, how is this length for you? You know, I'll even touch, like, I think I've done it to you. I touch your back and like, this is where your hair is at right now.
Yeah.
You know, like where, like, how does this feel? You know, like the guys that are taking their hair up to their shoulders. Like I have another gentleman that recently brought in a picture and said, I'm thinking about doing this. It's a big chop for me, you know, and I was like, absolutely, we can do that. It's like, you know, so it's like where I will literally touch the client. I'm not afraid to touch my client either. I think that's important for a barber too. Don't be afraid to touch. And if they don't know what they're doing, you should probably get some kind of vibe from that, you know, because there's usually some kind of hesitation.
That's the beauty of social media is, you know, just like tattoos, a lot of barbers will have their clients on there.
Yeah, we're going to be amping up and like I said, my goal is to offer Alliance Main Grooming Academy to barbers and other people and get them in on this
awesome.
Whole barber experience.
Yeah. Okay, so where can people find you on the interwebs?
On the interwebs?
Yeah.
Lions Mane Grooming Co. on Instagram.
Okay.
And then lionsmanegrooming.com is our website.
Beautiful.
We also have the Grooming Lion.
Okay.
On Twitter.
Oh, Twitter.
Fully covered.
Fully covered.
The funnel's out there.
We do have plans on starting a YouTube channel at some point.
Great. We'll have you back when you launch the channel to announce
absolutely.
it.
And
full
then
collab.
A
full collab.
Yeah, full collab, yes. And then also we're on Facebook as well.
Great.
Lions Mane Grooming Co. as well. Pretty much if you type in Lions Mane Grooming Co., you're going to find me. So,
awesome.
And we're in Little Italy.
Awesome.
Downtown. James
Love
Coffee.
it. Well, thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
We're definitely going to do it again.
Yes.
Really appreciate your time. And I'm for sure going to book my next touch up here because I'm sure it's already starting to go. Yeah. And all right. Thanks for tuning in, y'all. And we'll see you on the next one. Soup.